Welcome to Top Step Funded Trader Interview. I'm Eddie Horn, and today we've got one of our newest funded traders, Luke. Luke's going to be with us here in just a bit. First, I want to remind you, make sure your pencils are sharpened. Make sure there is ink in your pen, because what we're going to share today is some great knowledge from a funded trader on how he got there, the ups and downs. Without further ado, let's bring on Luke. Luke, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Eddie?
I'm fine here. Great date for an interview. First day of the week, Monday, getting it done. And I appreciate you coming on and stepping up to the plate and saying, sure. So props to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure, really.
Now, Luke, let's start it out. Let's fire this up. Tell us about yourself.
About myself, I have just turned 21, so pretty young, I would say. So I'm a student, going to be a senior, and I have been a hard worker all my life, really, but not for, a set amount of time, like with the job. Like I worked at Domino's before, I worked on a farm before, I worked at the food court before, but it wasn't like for an extended period of time. But when I found trading sophomore year of college, I thought I was a trader, but I really wasn't a trader at that time. I think we all think we are, but we're not. We're just kind of figuring things out. I saw trading as something that I would want to be doing for the rest of my life, or at least some vehicle to support me in my life, and then I can do other endeavors. So it's a journey.
Sure, you're still young and learning how to trade at that age. It's a great start. Now, you said you started trading just a little while ago. What sort of piqued your interest?
I just kind of, I think nowadays a lot of people are seeing the flashy people doing like 6 figures in a day, the 5 figures in a day. And I was just like, that's kind of interesting. Is that actually real? I was looking into it. Sure enough, it was real, but these people have a lot of capital, a lot they can risk, and then they can also get that reward. But I was thinking, if it's possible for one, why, can it not be possible for me? So I really started buckling down my learning to really understand how the market works, how trading works, how investing works. And I come into today, and I think we'll get into that later.
Right. And, I tell you, the idea of seeing these traders with big numbers and so forth, and, it's taken a long time for them to get to where they are. Best of the best and the worst of the worst days that they can have, they've had them, and they know how to handle them. Now, you talk about any education that you've had, any training that you've had. What sort of put you in the right direction?
I think what put me in the right direction was going in the wrong direction first. I started trading, in quotes, 2021. And if a lot of you remember, you could just throw a dart at anything, hold it for a while, which is not really trading, but it would go up like 100%, like some of these stocks like FuelCell and whatnot. And I was losing money then. So that's how bad I was. But that bull market really got me thinking, like, okay, like everything's going green, but I'm not. So what's in me that I'm not doing right? And then I quickly came to terms with risk management, because I was risking, I'll just put a number out of 500 to make 100. So that was skewed. That was way off. That wasn't right. And I would overtrade. Sometimes I wouldn't trade when, like, I guess I could have, but like at the time I didn't understand what worked and what didn't. So I really went in not, with a paper account. I went in with actual like funds, and I got burned, but I pushed through, persevered. I just studied YouTube, all these great YouTubers I found throughout my months and over a year, I would say for sure. So I found what they did, what works, what doesn't, what's their strategy, how does that work for them? And then I got into, okay, what would work for me? And my bread and butter is supply and demand. I like supply and demand. I tried to be a breakout trader, but I've gotten burned on that when I started becoming profitable and I was playing the risk management side of trading. Then I really stuck to supply and demand, 2-to-1s, 1-to-1s on quality trades. And that's where I found my success so far. But with supply and demand, I also put my own spin. Like I'll be like, okay, so where's the level that I'm thinking it could get to? It could come into the demand zone, but I'm only risking right now 5 points on the minis, the S&P 500 minis. So where would a spot be where I can risk five points and then target 10 points or 20 points or something along those lines.
You mentioned management, and I mean, management is so important. Not only managing your account, but managing yourself. And it's a big part of success in trading is being able to accept the management. And sometimes, you're going to ask yourself a question and it's not going to be the right answer. And you're going to wonder, did I do the right thing? And this is where management comes in, where you have to check yourself and make sure you're doing the right thing. Make sure the account's moving forward and not backwards. So that's props on that. Management, that's a good foundation base to make sure your trading is going the right way. What are you trading now and why?
I trade the S&P 500 futures, the minis. With my strategy, I found that I can be consistently profitable when I actually stick to my plan. But when I stick to my plan, I can trade the minis with the 50K account, which is what I have right now. I would definitely love the 150K account, hoping to get that by end of this year, start of next year, sometime around there. We'll see. I love trading that because like it's liquid. That doesn't really affect me, but it moves. It constantly moves. Like oil, sometimes it doesn't move, or corn sometimes doesn't move. In the NASDAQ, I just mentally, it moves like a lot of points. So I didn't really like how much it moved there, but you can still risk, the same amount on the NASDAQ like you would with the S&P 500 futures minis. But it felt comfortable for me to trade. So that's why I stuck with it, and I'm still sticking with it. And I do plan to stick with it. So
now, how's trading been going? Did you trade today?
All right, I'll tell you this first. Don't deviate from your plan. Don't trade just to trade. Don't think you can just get an extra $500 or whatever out of the minis. Don't think like that. You have to stick to your plan. You have to be consistent. And if you don't, you get burned. I got burned today, but that was because I wasn't in the right mindset. I didn't stick to my plan, and I just took trades to take them. The first two, I couldn't complain. Got burned on the first one. I'm fine with that. I put that risk out there. I planned it out. That was okay. The second trade, it went my way. Planned that one out as well. It was a break, retest, got in, went 10 points, got that, hit my target. That was great. The next four trades, though, I just traded to trade. I didn't trade any supply and demand. I didn't trade any breakouts. I was just trading just in a range, and I was just thinking, okay, let me just get something real quick. And I usually don't think like that. But today, for some reason, I was. And I just traded with no plan, no edge, just place to trade, click the button, and that was that. So when you look back and you're like, oh, man, I actually could have been up, and you're not, it's like, okay, well, next time, you really got to stick to your plans, Luke, because if you don't, you're going to have a day like you did today. And usually I only take one or two trades in a day. I was on a streak of just one trade a day, and I was on a decent win streak with that. But today I took 6, so that definitely shows something was wrong. I wasn't planning correctly. I wasn't in the right mind frame.
Well, you got bit. Once bitten, twice shy. But it's good to put it on the table and talk about it. And, what did I do wrong? And the thing is, you knew exactly what you did wrong. And, your overall mindset, was you were disappointed in yourself. This is what we write down. This is where we use the Post-it notes, make sure that we remind ourselves. This is where we coach ourselves. Because you're the one pushing the buttons. You're the one making all the decisions, all the choices, all the actions. It's all about you. And knowing this, today was not good. Why? I know what I did. And, that's a benefit when you can realize you did something. And we all do it. I mean, it's going to happen. There's no perfect trader out there. We're all going to fall in this every once in a while. But, the thing is, how quick can you get up, dust yourself off, and get back on the horse? So tomorrow's another day. Props on, sharing that too. I mean, it takes a lot to share something like that. So you're going to be doing okay, my friend. I guarantee it. Let's move on to you and Top Step. How long have you been here with Top Step?
So last year, when I thought I was a trader, thought I knew how to risk manage, my risk 5 to gain 1 kind of thing. I tried the combine and that didn't work out for me. I had a trade. I remember I was up $860 in a day, and I was like, oh my gosh, great. Next day, I lost the account, lost the combine, not the account, just the combine. I tried again, failed again, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let me like focus more on what works and what doesn't because I'm not ready yet. Like a consistently profitable trader should not have a few weeks of just like seeing red. You see red like 4 days out of 5, you should not be seeing that. And I came back, I was tracking a few trades, like a decent amount of trades with supply and demand. And I saw profitability when I was tracking that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a little bit more and then I'm gonna try it out on Top Step because I figured, if I'm profitable, might as well try to be funded. I went through the combine, passed step 1 fairly quickly, which was nice. I was averaging near 6 figures for a trading year during step 1, but then step 2, I deviated away. I tried scalping, I tried breakout trades, I tried stuff that wasn't my bread and butter, what I was comfortable with, and I was break even for a month and a half. I wasted so much time on something that didn't work instead of going back to what did work and focusing on that and really hone in on those skills. Slowly but surely, I passed step 2. That's a great feeling. Went out with my girlfriend, we got some donuts, and then I came back. And then my account got set up pretty quickly. So I was like, oh, okay, sweet. I didn't trade the day I was profitable. I waited and I got into my first day being funded and I had a red day. It was down $27. So that's a lot, right? I've only had 3 red days so far being funded, which was down $27. And then this time I'm about to talk about, I didn't really trade my plan as well that day, but I got burned a little bit. But I was like, okay, came back the next day. I got back all that pretty much, which was nice. But then I was like, okay, let's stick to the plan. You really worked hard for this. You're funded now. Don't lose it. Let's keep it going. So then right after that, I had 11 straight green days. I was taking 1 or 2 trades a day. Had a real nice day at the last FOMC statement. I traded afterwards and I had 2 trades, 2 nice green trades that worked out pretty well. I wish I would have held on to one of them a lot longer, but I mean, the plan was more of a 1-to-1 quick if it would do that, and it did.
Well, okay. I mean, it's part of the process, and step 2 is about management. And like you said, slowly but surely. And, I have to stress that point, slow and steady is going to win this. Small profits add up. And it's when we start getting a little greedy is when we get bit. And I mean, you might get through the day just being a greed hog, trying to take as much as you can. And it's been done, but usually the odds are against you on that. And you're not thinking right. And you're getting reckless. You're shooting from the hip. And then it comes back to bite you. But I really appreciate you sharing that with us today regarding the day that just, got off track. And, like I say, brush yourself off, get back on the horse. Tomorrow's another day. We got traders listening and so forth. And let's say one of your friends came up to you and didn't know anything about trading. What would you tell them? What words of wisdom would you share with somebody new to trading?
I would have the conversation of, do you really want to be a trader or do you want to know how to invest and have a job? Because trading's a little different than what a lot of people think. It's a day-by-day grind, or if you have stuff going on and you can swing trade, then you really plan out those trades that can work. But if you're not committed fully into trading, you're not going to be a trader.
Right.
When I first started, I thought I was a trader. I would do this and that. I would lose, but then I was like, oh yeah, I trade. So let me get back to it. And then I'll lose money again. So I'd really have the conversation of, okay, do you really want this to be part of your path, your journey in life? Or is this just something that you saw and you're kind of interested and you would like to know better points to invest for a better return, less risk, less time wasted? It's
Right.
just hours and hours of grinding and learning and studying and asking questions and seeing what works and what doesn't work over time. But you have to understand the anatomy and the terminology of the market to kind of be a trader. And if you don't, you don't know what you're doing. And a lot of people just think, and they see like kind of what I saw, like the 5-figure days, the 6-figure days on some people, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess I can just do that right out of the gates. You can't. You're not going to be LeBron James
Right.
in basketball just because you picked up a basketball and it shot a 3-pointer, made it first try. You're not gonna be professional after that. It's a
Right.
grind, and if you want to be an actual trader, you have to put the work and dedication in to become one. You are not just given and blessed with the abilities of being a trader without the work.
I mean, you honestly have to even sometimes look in the mirror and promise yourself, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow through correctly. And it sounds silly, but I'm just trying to get to a point where you really have to, you got to promise yourself that this is what I want. And, some of us work a little more than others. Some of us have families and so forth, or work the 9-to-5 job. But when you do find time, you got to have 100% focus on, learning and be a sponge. Take all the information that you can take, and then filter out what works for you. This works for me. This doesn't work for me, and put it together and see if you can move forward in trading. So appreciate that dedication, commitment. Two big words. Two big words. Luke, how about your strength? What's your strength? What are you proud of in trading? What's your biggest strength?
More currently that I found out, when I don't have the day that I thought I should have, and I didn't stick to my plan, I deviated away. I come back the next day not down on myself. I come back focused, more determined. It was game 6, and now the series is tied. Now it's game 7. That's my mentality. I really don't want to lose. So I get back to it, stick to the plans, trust the process. If it's slow and steady after a really, really bad red day, then that's fine. But as long as it's profitable over time, that's okay with me. But it's not like I gotta get this back. It's more of, okay, stick to yourself. What has worked, let that play out over time.
Right. And that's the stress, revenge trade. I got to get this back. That's probably the worst thing you could say. Do your best to try to get it back piece by piece. I mean, don't swing for the fence. I'll get it back all in one trade. You might, but then again, you might make that hole a little deeper. That's really hard. Now, Luke, fess up. What's one of your worst weaknesses?
One of my worst, like today, something's not right. I'm not in the right mindset. Deviate from my plans, and I just click the button. For no reason. It'll be in the middle of a range, and I'll click the button. And I did that 4 times today. It was in the middle of a range, didn't really know what to expect or do, and I got burned. And that's my biggest weakness. I'll just trade to trade, no plan, no nothing.
You got past it. Water under the bridge. Let's not dwell about it. I was talking to you before, and you're coming on positive about it, and you realized, what you did wrong, and that's half the battle, is knowing what you did wrong. So I'm sure that you're going to stay away from that one again. Now, has Top Step made you a better trader?
Yes, 100%, 150%, 105%, anything above 100%. It's definitely given me the realization of what it takes to be a profitable trader. The rules that you guys provide us with is so comforting in a way. Like, it seems unfair to some people with like the wrong mindset, but it really makes you understand that you have to be consistently profitable with your plan. You can't just trade to trade with no edge.
See, that's being a trooper, saying, you know what? Okay, I need to pull back a little bit, slow things down. I got to fill this hole up. I got to get out of the hole. It's going to take a little longer, but that's how it's done. It's, you're not going to throw another 2, 3, 4 lot on, and see what's going on, just trying to get yourself out of the hole, because that might be the end of it. You might trade go against you, and you're done, one and done. Don't want to do that for sure. What do you like most about Top Step?
The rules really force you to come back and realize that the plan is the plan. Don't deviate away from the plan. Even though now I've done it twice, a third time, I don't know what I'll do, but a third time won't happen. I'll promise that.
Just being on the trading floor, many traders wish they had rules like this. Keep them in the game. I mean, it was a tough battle on the trading floor. And then, when you transition to electronic, a lot of the open outcry traders, they couldn't catch on. It was something completely different to them. Some of them did, some of them didn't. And it's just a matter of adjusting and having rules in hand. And, it's easy to say, hard to do. Follow along, just make sure you don't break rules. But it's like, we get wrapped up, we get wound up, and, it takes us out of the game sometimes. But I'm glad that you understand that the rules are here to help you. The rules are here to make you a better trader. They are. Like I said, I wish I had them many moons ago. So that does help. Luke, let me ask you something. What do you do besides trading? Is there a hobby? Do you collect anything? Sports, music?
For me, it's mainly going to the gym. Grand Valley has a great rec center. The people there, the atmosphere is great. I go there, work out, get a nice pump in. Kind of want to be a bodybuilder in a way, maybe not compete, but I do like the grind, the pump, and the feeling you get afterwards. That's my main hobby. I would also say that I like playing basketball a lot. I just go to the rec center, shoot a couple basketballs.
You're doing the cardio, stamina. You're feeling good about yourself. Things like that are going to benefit you, going to help you out mentally, physically, obviously. But it's good for the mindset, being positive. So props to you. Now, now the fun question, my friend, this sort of fun question. The world needs another superhero, Luke, with superpowers. You willingly, yes, Luke willingly answers the call. What superpowers will you bring to the table? And what will your superhero name be?
Superpower of confidence. Something realistic.
Superpower of, okay. Superhero name.
Mr. Confident.
Mr. Confident. All right. We're gonna reach out when we need confidence. We're gonna reach out to Mr. Confident, our new superhero, to save the world. I think the world needs some confidence. But Luke, once again, all the best to you. I appreciate you coming on here with us and telling the story. And, just to be honest, I asked him if he traded today before the interview started. And he's like, yeah, I had a good day. But I asked him, you want to talk about it? And Luke said, yeah. And that's what shows us what integrity that he has, passion, that he wants to put it on the table and talk about it. So all the best to you, my friend. Keep us informed. Let us know how you're doing. All right. Sound good?
That sounds great. Thank you so much, Eddie, for having me.
All right. Pleasure having you. To those that are watching this, please don't forget, subscribe. If you like this video, definitely mark that down. Until we meet again, stay focused, stay positive, trade well. Take care. Bye-bye.